Let's go for... Well, I guess we should maybe go down to the alt floors. If the run gets super powerful, stick with it to the corpse. If it's not super great, aim for the beast and hope for the best. Because I obviously did get to home at some point with Lazarus, because we have tainted Lazarus, but it's another character where I didn't kill the beast. So that means we have 2 unlocks to get for him, man. Not that Lazarus is a particularly good character. Meh, yourself. But hey, a damage up in your first item room is pretty good. Now, among the other things I already have prepared to talk about today, I didn't have time over my day off to get in touch with Night Models regarding the order that was apparently quote-unquote shipped on the 15th of November. Over 2 weeks ago at this point. So I finally got around to sending them a message today, and I do know from previous experience that whoever it is that manages their emails keeps weird hours. Like, it is not during business hours that you would often get a reply. So I'm going to check throughout the stream on the off chance I do get a reply from them, even though it's like, well, 7 already in Spain, but still. And we'll see what happens. It'd be interesting to know how many people work for them. So I know they're not a huge company, but I want to know how small they are. Like, is it 5 guys in an office? 10, 15, 20? I would be very curious to know that. Hello, Lily. The package Valinar is going to go get for realsies is most likely his Black Friday order, if I had to guess. Which I think was... I think that was Infinity stuff. See, this is me testing whether or not I was listening when he told me when we played Deep Rock. I'm pretty sure he mentioned something about Infinity. I was asking about a company. A company. You can ask a company how small it is. I don't know if that's on tax information or not. It is if you're a sole trader, because you have to... Well, at least here it is. Because you have to register as a sole trader. Which I am. Because the dog doesn't count as a person. Damn the government and their anti-dog regime. You can ask how many people work in the company? Well, I guess that depends whether it's also like that in Spain. Because I do feel they're maybe a little bit lax on certain laws in Spain. Like, for instance, that time where one of my packages from Night Models was definitely filled by someone who must have been smoking at the time. And I know chat's like, no, but the smell can linger from other places. No, it was pungent enough that somebody breathed a mouthful of smoke into that box as they were sealing it. 100% sure. It wasn't just a lingering smell of being in a smoky environment. It was like somebody exhaled smoke into that box. It was that pungent. Oh, so you were saying it too, you can ask somebody how small they are. Well, Crispy was insinuating that I was implying they had small penises. He's from Texas, don't blame him. Okay, we got HP there. We're going to go murder ourselves now because there's spirit hearts as well. Although actually, didn't I shoot all the fires? I don't remember which side of the door you get teleported to when you die via walking into this. Although we just got a bomb, so actually just... Okay, that's fine. That's perfect, in fact. Just teleport. Well, walk out here. I'm going to be in the room with the spirit hearts. It teleports you into the previous room, I think. So it would have been fine. Okay, we actually have stats. And we'll aim for the alt floor, and then we can always pivot again if the run doesn't kind of shake out. Or we get our ass kicked, whichever. Oh, you can actually just Google? Is there a date on it at all? Because I have a feeling like during COVID they probably like booted a lot of low-level workers out. With 55 employees. I wouldn't have guessed that high. I would have guessed like maybe 20, counting people working the like the production line. I shouldn't have taken that that early. I should have went back. Ah, no date. Fair enough. Hello, Perth.
Did you see that, Zach?
Thank you, Lost Compass, for 44 months in a row with Twitch Prime. For reminding me to once again mention your Twitch Prime might be available. And if it isn't, then it might be cheating on you, so you should probably check on it. And we're seeing the reason now why I should not have taken the Eternal Art before clearing the floor. Because we've got the terrible version of a terrible floor, and taking damage is all but a certainty. Even with increased damage and tears. Magnetizing isn't kicking in that often either. Blah, blah. I have a feeling it's going to be a short floor too. Oh, there we go, it finally kicked in. Did I see a tint? Well, did anyone see a tinted rock on the start of this floor? I feel like I saw one and I couldn't get it because I didn't have a bomb. So I didn't mention it. Oh no, it was stone chests, but if I lay one, they're all gonna explode. Okay. We can definitely go by the shop then. I was about to pick a subject, but thank you Ormrad for 53 months with a tier 1 sub as well. Should you upgrade to tier 2 because you want the Angie emote? I mean, if you're in the Discord, you can just use it. I think you don't actually need to be a tier 2. If that sways you at all. Not during streams, but you can use it as much as you like in chat, in Discord. Ack, zombie. Sort of. Maybe poop monsters, I'm not sure. Okay, that will help magnetizing. I don't know what Chariot ? Does. Oh, it's the one that makes you stand still and get a massive tear rate. That's actually perfect for this boss. Nice. I need to wait till it wears off now, but... More health. La-di-da. Oh, I regret spending my monies now, but we can always get more. 0.74. I could blow up the donation machine to get damage early, because I'm not going to spend my money from this point on anyway. Which is kind of the flaw in what they've done to the donation machine. By making it explode for a lot of money once and then never again on the run. It's like, why wouldn't you do that if you're hoarding money anyway? There's no reason not to. Well, I guess if you had no cash in. Is that an X on that rock? Is this a special tinted rock? Does anybody know for sure? Because I don't want to waste bombs. Because I need them. Hello, Cuban. Like, is that what a special X looks like? Is this a double tinted rock? Alright, I guess I can find out. I still have 2 bombs left to go to the mines. Oh, it is, because it didn't break first try. Oh, now I know what I'm looking for. Okay, that's a lot harder to, like, spot on the fly. 7.29 damage and we're 2 floors deep. That's pretty good. I deserved the poop floor twice in a row, quite frankly. It was a little bit twisted to the side, though. Oh, thank you, Rydog, for the 14 bits. Very accurate for the floors we find ourselves on. He also started a hype train. Oh, and thank you, Trunks, as well. I don't know if the episode went live when we first started testing it on YouTube yet or not, but do remember there is a new, much more annoying bit alert. Speed down. Oh no, I Maggied myself. And it was Chris B who picked the accurate the accurate year to be used for it. Oh, when you hit them they fart. You don't need to shop? Well, it could be greed. Oh, thank you, Parrot. You're stealing Phelan's shtick.
Oh.
She is the Hurty Spot provider, or not provider, provoker. Insinuator. enjoying with the amount of damage we're doing now. It's not insignificant. No chat, for your choose your own adventure. Is it only giving me question marks?
The tavern's on fire! Fire!
Thank you, Serenity, and thank you, Lily. Your choose your own adventure story time today is I could talk about The Simpsons because I watched season 32 of The Simpsons on Netflix, not Netflix, on Disney Plus. Or I could talk about the ordeal I had with my electrical provider over the weekend and day off. Or I think that's about it in terms of topics, of main topics. I did see my niece again for the second time on my day off. I saw her just over a month old, and now she's just over 3 months old, and she's like double the size. Turns out tiny humans grow quickly if you don't see them that often. Hang on, I need to focus on this fight because nobody knows what this enemy does.
Oh.
Is it dead? It is not dead. I actually did that boss flawlessly. Oh, thank you, Chemically Rad, Electrical Story, and thank you, Hybrid One, for resubbing. Did they provide a quality service? Well, unconnected to their general level of service, they are being hit pretty hard because of all the damage from the storm on Friday night, whenever that storm was. See, I don't really want that card back. Also, we need to go get the knife piece before I forget. Well, I didn't mention it over the weekend, but on Friday, the electrical key for my electrical supply broke. I thought, okay, that's fine. I don't really want to have to phone them up, so I will simply order a replacement. I need to go find the mirror. On their website, and I did, and it said, okay, great, you've done it. We'll dispatch one first class. Didn't get it on the Saturday. We don't get any mail on the Sunday. So I was like, okay, I'm sure it'll arrive on the Monday.
Did you see that, Zach?
And I hope it does, or there's a very real chance that early on Tuesday, I will have no power. I also forgot we didn't go to the item room. We won't trust a question mark. Thank you, Bum Friends, for using your Prime again for 52 months. So needless to say, Monday rolled around and there was no posts for me. There was no electrical key replacement. So rather than be a relaxing Monday day off, it was actually just an incredibly stressful day of me trying various methods of communication to get through to my electrical power supplier to make sure that I don't lose power. But their phone lines were backed up because of people affected by the storm. Their email, or not email client, their app client has like a chat thing with tech support in India. And it was like, typically you receive a reply within a few minutes. I waited 2 hours and didn't get any answer from that. I did get an answer from them this morning after approximately 24 hours, but that didn't help. At one point when I emailed, I got an automated message saying that they had to evacuate their HQ for unspecified reasons, which I think might have been played in error, because that was very confusing. In the early hours of the evening, I eventually did get through on the phone to someone in Scotland, and they gave me a code to get a new key. The place that was supposed to have the keys didn't have any keys. So faced with running out of power, the person at the shop was like, oh, they're just resetting your existing key, assuming it isn't actually a fault in the key. Bring me that and we'll try it. And that worked, thankfully. So it was like turning it on and off again, but for an electrical key. So needless to say, I've learned that during the winter, where I'm using ridiculous amounts of electricity, stay topped up in case your key breaks, otherwise you might find yourself with no power, which would also mean you can't do your job. Nice. Hey Valinor, everyone wanted to know what was in your gigantic package that you went to go collect. Yeah, sure. Why is it a physical key, not an electric one? It's a physical key that provides electricity. And the reason I can't pay via the app or anything other than that is because this is a fairly old, well, relatively old house. And there's a massive backlog to get a smart meter that lets you pay via the app. So I don't have one of those yet, nor can I get one yet. But needless to say, I am on the waiting list. Well, thank you, Brad, for 54 months with a tier 1 sub as well. Oh yeah, I know it was minis. Of course it was minis, but what minis? Was it your Infinity Black Friday order? My house is heated by electricity, yes. I do not have a gas supply. It was. No, that was pretty quick for a Black Friday order. Especially because your country doesn't do post on any, like, Saturday or Sunday, right? Jera, you say? Let's just double up the devil and hopefully I'll remember to come back. Pixel, the real fool, it is you, because you could have halved that. Sorry, not halved it, I can't count. Taken 100 off that and done it as 2 separate throw me back annoyances to piss off YouTube and everyone present. But you didn't. Instead you gave them to me and called me a fool. Who's the real fool now? Proud owner of Ratio, an avatar of and this is Vasti Action Pack. Yes, quite. Is it meant to be called Ratioed? Did they choose that name or were they forced upon it by a Twitter mob? Yeah, I got down to like... It would have ran out in the early hours of the evening, I think. And it's just because it's so cold. Like, I get the benefits of not paying much during the summer, and pay a lot in the winter. That's just the way it is. I should have lost that gold heart sooner, because that's just money waiting to be gathered. Cursed Eye. Well, we'll be saying no to that. That's fine, but not good. Is this the floor with the... No, it's not. Well, normally if you're in a forever home, whatever, you wouldn't have to top up with that, you just get your monthly bills. But the person who owned this house before me was renting it, so it's a way for the renter to pay for their power. And I did look into changing it when I bought the house, but they were like, okay, if you do that, here's how much more you're going to pay. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'll just keep the pay-as-you-go thing and pay less. And they're like, okay, that's fine. And they send out statements every year being like, okay, so here's whether or not you're on the cheapest tariff, here's what you could be saving if you're not, but they keep on saying like you're on the cheapest thing, so why bother changing? It is weird that it works that way, but you can't tell me it's called Raichu, it's Ratio. Raichu is a Pokemon? A Pokemon. Everybody knows that. It's a story to tell regardless. I'm obviously not making light of the fact because there are still people who are in Scotland who are affected by the storm and still don't have power back on yet. I mean, I lost power for an evening when the storm hit, but there's people who are still waiting on getting power back. So, count the blessings, etc. Out. Tears up. Krampus. It's almost Krampus's special day. Or days, I don't know. How much of December is Krampus's? I'm going back for the devil card. I remembered it was there. Also, apparently a rune dropped That's the stab.
Soul of Judas.
We don't need no stab. Yoink. I don't know if it would work on double tinted rugs. We'd have to find another one, and I think they're very, very rare. It may not be that they're very, very rare. It might just be that nobody sees them. Like, that's the first time I've ever spotted, like, there was a clear difference in that rock. Thank you, Donkey Kong. Cyber Train's actually going quite a while. Think of the animal emotes we could all get. It could be anything. It could even be a fish getting petted for some reason. A devil fish, but not an actual devil fish. It's a fish that is sane. Do 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 do. Yeah, that horrible one right there. Yes, officer, that emote. That emote right there. Oh, what did I get? I got some kind of beaver or something? Or a bear? What is this? Hype ha. I don't know what that is. That a bloody Bidoof? It better not be a Bidoof. It looks like a Bidoof. It's a hippo? Did you get that thing I sent you? I really hope at least one person gets that. CR isn't here, so I'm not 100% sure. You got it? Excellent. It's a good joke, right? Actually, Crispy is the only person here who could say a proper answer to that, although it's not been sent off yet. It's an old one? Yes, so am I. Ooh, Soul of Apollyon. Come on, Greed! Boo! A lot of people got the clapping dolphin. Don't trust dolphins, they're evil. They're also very rapey, as it turns out. I had no idea, but they are. Any of those... Oh, the game froze up a little bit there. You have to speak up, I'm wearing a towel. Nobody gets those references anymore. Stores are open. Well, we're running out of stores, so that's not going to be relevant. We need to go get the other knife piece while I'm minding. I think that was the first switch we've seen, unfortunately. Dolphins have a capacity. I just said that, yes. I wasn't being funny, they actually do. It's a lesser known thing about them. Yoink. And then the last one should be in the room. Goodbye all my fancy powers for one 5-minute long section that definitely doesn't get tedious. They also intentionally get high by agitating pufferfish. I don't like the look of this room, but hopefully this isn't a room we have to do on the way out, since it creates a new instance. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk about, I watched the most recent season of The Simpsons added to Disney Plus for the UK, anyway, which was season 32. It was from the year of the election. I hadn't seen any of it, but I had seen clips from it. I'd seen the one where they make fun of Trump, where Homer goes to the voting booth and is like, who should I vote for president? And Lisa's like, what are you talking about? There's only one choice. And then Homer's like, well, what did he do that's so bad? And then it just pauses and spends like a whole minute and a half listing everything racist, homophobic, and horrible Trump has ever said or done. And while Homer's just reacting, going like, oh, yeah, he did do that, didn't he? And they actually, like, I was surprised they mentioned the, like, grab them by the pussy, although they fully censor pussy. But they, like, I didn't expect to see the word rapist in a Simpsons episode, but they haven't mentioned that he said all Mexicans are rapists. Also, we did get this room, unfortunately. And it was still a close election. Keep that in mind. Let that scare you. The other part from the season, as it turns out, I hadn't seen, but I'd heard about, is the episode with Benedict Cumberbatch voicing a Morrissey parody, because Morrissey got annoyed that they made fun of the fact that he grew into an old racist. Or anti-vaxxer, I can't remember which he is, maybe both. But they got Benedict Cumberbatch to voice like a young version of him and parodied him. And as it turns out, Benedict Cumberbatch, I said this in Discord yesterday, but that guy can sing. And he does a really, really good impression of like late 80s, early 90s alternative punk, as in like British punk. And he's a really good singer. I was really impressed. So I'd seen that, or I've seen mention of that episode because Morrissey got annoyed that they made fun of the fact that he stood for all these rebellious things. Oh, great. When he was young, and then he grew up to be just a horrible person. And that's basically the theme of the episode. So if you want to hear Doctor Strange pretending to sing in a Mancunian accent, which I don't think Morrissey is from Manchester, but either way. I posted one of the songs from the episode in Discord yesterday. He was always horrible. That does explain I'm not familiar with his music. Why all the songs Benedict sings in the episode are about like how he's awesome and everybody else is horrible. Hello June, thank you for resubbing again. That's no problem. I'll hopefully still be here when you're able to make it back more often. So it's also the first season where, at least I think it is, it's the first season where they got other people to start voicing non-white characters, since all the characters are voiced by the same 5 white people. I didn't notice it quite at first, like the first voice is Carl's. And I was like, oh, that sounds a bit weird. And then I listened closer and I was like, oh, that's not the same person. That's someone new doing a pretty good impression of what Carl sounded like. I have no idea what their name is. But it's a good impersonation of what he used to sound like. It's close enough that it doesn't really matter. His Dr. Hibbert is not nearly as good, unfortunately, but that's okay. I was a little bit disappointed by that. And I know that the problem with them having Apu as a character wasn't just that he was voiced by Hank Azaria. It was also just, in general, he's a stereotype, because that documentary failed to see that every Simpsons character is a stereotype. Kind of missed that that's part of the satire of the show, I guess, but whatever. So, apparently the better alternative to having either a white person voice Apu or just get someone else to voice him and keep him the same, is just he's not in the season. He's in the background once. I saw him once with his family. And then he's just like a background character now. Which I didn't like, because Apu is a fun character and has had some good stories and episodes. I was also never under the impression that the most offensive thing about Apu was Hank Azaria doing his voice. Like, if you want to hear a racist Indian character voice, listen to Billy West doing Leela's boss. That is an offensive voice. For sure. But I never thought Hank Azaria was doing like some poor impersonation. Although it's obviously his choice that he doesn't want to ever do it again because people were offended, which is fine. No, Simpsons is good now. Like, the last few seasons have actually been good, and I would rate this season as pretty decent overall. I quite enjoyed it. The new voices were a little weird. Got used to it pretty quick. It is weird though, because like I mentioned this when I was watching Futurama again as well, but like, it's not okay for white people to voice non-white people, but it's okay for anyone to do like bad Italian accents or Scottish accents. Like there's an episode in that season where they're all doing terrible Roman accents. Or ancient Rome, because it's like they're retelling the tale of Caesar. It's like, how come that's okay? How come it's okay that Chris Pratt might be voicing an Italian plumber? He did, yeah, after being told, hey, you're being racist. I think that's the only part that annoys me. I don't like the implication that everybody who is complicit is automatically racist. Because I don't think he has a racist bone in his body. I think he's a nice guy. Ooh, money. But I think he got shamed into saying, okay, fine, I'll never do it again.
2 of clubs.
Like I say, I don't think his accent or voice for Apu was offensive, but maybe it's not my place to say, I guess.
Did you see that, Zach?
However, I can say the Futurama episode where they go to Space Scotland, and basically the entire cast all do terrible Scottish accents for, like, side characters. That episode is offensive. Those accents were terrible. Nah, joke's on you, I have no... Well, wait, no, she can steal the knife. I think she stole the knife. She did. Wait, she stole my room bag as well. You steal the knife again? Run kind of went to crap, and I'm not sure why. I do know why. It's because the mausoleum is hard. Iron room shop. Yeah, I don't want to do any more rooms than I have to. I should have broke those skulls. But yeah, the season overall I liked. A couple of crappy. I'd rate it a hell of a lot better than like season 9 of Futurama. Maybe on par with season 10, like some good stuff, some bad. Oh yeah, in terms of like the main cast, the lady who voices Marge, I never remember her name. I always remember Nancy Cartwright and what's the name of the lady who plays Lisa? It's like Yardie Smith or something. She's got a strange first name. Oh, I have no bombs, that's why that's not working. The lady who voices Marge is clearly struggling to keep that Marge voice going. It does not sound the same. She sounds like she's very sore doing it. I feel like they're giving her less lines as a result. Didn't know that's how that worked. Yeah, it has been a lot of years, but Homer sounds the same. Every character voiced by Nancy Cartwright sounds the same. Lisa sounds exactly the same because it's just her voice pitched slightly higher. Disenchantment is not worth watching, it's not good enough. I actually forgot it existed until the last time we were talking about this. Oh yeah, the other weird thing about watching an up-to-date season is that they start bringing in stuff, not just like election stuff or whatever. Oh, great. But for instance, there's an episode where comic book guy goes to Comic-Con and gets embarrassed, and then there's like an Avengers-esque trailer where it's all the various types of internet troll. Like one is just called Stan, one is a furry, one is just like a nerd rage. And it's like all these terms I never thought I'd hear in a Simpsons episode, because I see it as a show that started in the 90s, early 90s. And that's the other thing, when they do flashbacks now, as in like flashbacks to say Marge and Homer being in their early 20s, for instance, the technology that exists in the flashback is stuff that didn't exist when they were that age originally. Because originally they were kids in like the early 80s, or before that, 70s maybe. But now, because the show is like perpetually stuck in the same year, but the technology around them changes, they're doing flashbacks, but there's like internet and whatnot, where the internet didn't exist before. So it's very... I know they couldn't have done it any other way, it's just really weird. of course they're mentioning like Twitter and YouTube. There was a few good YouTube jokes in there, but I've forgotten them now. No, I didn't realize the cart. I really needed that soul of Azazel. Oh no. I can't even get it because I can't leave the fight. We're gonna die. Oh, that sucks. Damn it. Okay, as it turns out, we're not gonna die, but we still might die till it lives. Just want the damage. Die. The other way they could have done it would not have worked. Like, just keep it that, yeah, they're this set age, they were born in this year, so when they do flashbacks it has to also be that year. So just they'd be utterly out of touch with new generations. Thank you, magnetizing tears. Nope, never mind. I really wish I hadn't squished that fish. And also that I had my soul of Azazel, because that probably would have killed the corpse if I'd saved it. Oh well. But yeah, it's like seasons, I don't know, 12 to the low 20s are terrible, but the last few seasons have been decent. They got good again. Not great, but decent. Not everything lasts forever. Excuse me, have you seen my disdain for cats? The Tower question mark is a good card. I think the best place to use it is in this long corridor. Did we get any tinted rocks? Like any? Yes, 2. Oh, okay, that's pretty neat. Wait, 3? Huh. I really shouldn't be breaking these, like, polyp ones. That's a pretty good haul. Yeah, that's another thing. The Simpsons Family Guy crossover episode is pretty good. And it's classed as a Family Guy episode, not a Simpsons episode, for the record. It is a hell of a lot better than the Futurama Simpsons crossover episode, which I've unfortunately just reminded myself was a thing that they did. Because Jesus Christ, that was terrible. At least it was nice for the Futurama crew to get a bit more, another paycheck, I suppose. Blur. So as per usual, despite the run kind of trucking along, that's all the stories I really had. I did read a Batman comic, but I'm always a little bit gun shy about... Is it gun shy or gum shy? I don't know. About talking about that these days. Like, I go between, like, who cares if someone doesn't like me talking about it? I like talking about it, so I will. And then also being like, oh, you want to talk about stuff people actually want to hear. Even if it's just a rambling story about the newest season, well, not even the newest season, a season of The Simpsons. No, I'm assuming I know what you mean by that. I can't because it's technically spoilers, although I do have questions about it. Oh, okay, then you go the other way, right? No, no, no. Oh, I was so close to doing it. I had the perfect speed for avoiding it. This boss sucks. Don't make me use the sun card on you. Bitch. I mean, harlot. Okay, restored some of my health. Oh, okay, we are not talking about the same thing then. Never mind. No, I didn't realize you were talking about the comics.
Puberty.
I didn't know there was a new RE movie until... Who was it that watched it and mentioned it in Discord last night? I've literally seen nothing about there being a new Resident Evil movie. Literally nothing. Not an exaggeration at all. I had no idea. What else Hulk related has come out? Well, with as few spoilers as possible, there's a She-Hulk show coming out and the after credits scene of Shang-Chi. Is it still a W.S. Paul S. W.T.R. X.Y.Z. Anderson film, or does it still star his wife? Is she not sick of this shit by now? Have I started painting any of the Batman minis from the unboxing? I have not. However, I am ready to record the initial attempt at playing it, which I'm doing before painting it because I want to gauge basically if there's an audience before I start painting, because the painting will take a while. Once the goons are painted, it's done because all the missions use the same 2 goon types, or 3, sorry. At least in the core book, but it'll still take me a while to paint them. It's an amalgam of Resident Evil 0 to 3? Yes, many hired goon types. No, I know nothing about the Resident Evil movies, so how can you combine this? I mean, I would understand maybe briefly covering Resident Evil 1 and then going into 2 and 3. So, because 2 and 3 happen, well, parts of it happen simultaneously. It's not W.S. Anderson, but it's not got good ratings. I mean, Capcom's like CG Resident Evil movies are pretty good, right? They get well received. Why don't they just stick with them? It looks awful. I mean, if it's really, really, really bad, that could still be worth watching just for that reason. I am going to go down to the second secret room and secret room to try for anything that can tip this in our favour. Okay, oh, we're at 99 coins now, so that's as good as our damage is getting. I have some regret with this room. Hello, Lord Sycon. There's no need to fill the bin, I forgot to empty it before the stream started. I try and do that every Tuesday. That is helpful. Secret room, I guess we could get raw liver, that would be really good. Fingers crossed it's not greed, because I don't need the money anymore. Never mind, it's greed. Nope. Ain't that a kick in the head. We technically have 8 red hearts because of the sun card, so this is doable still, for sure. It just comes down to what attacks the corpse does. Ow. It's not so bad. It's about as good as you could hope for, knives and wormy things. This is the worst. For this form, anyway. One more hit and we sunk hard. No iframes on that either. Ooh. Ooh, damn it. I didn't expect her to start at that side. Oh, we actually just won. Okay. Get wrecked. We unlocked Tiny Toma, which I presume is a follower version of Teratoma. Lovely. Alright, one of the two last things we needed for Lazarus done.